everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Baseball HQ. Dakota Moyer, back with you with Landon Morgan. Second appearance on the podcast. We thought he did so well on the other one that we'd have him back, but for real, it was a really good episode. We're gonna get into. We're gonna kind of lay off the free agent news today. We've had probably 4 weeks running of doing that, so we're just kind of getting into some broad topics today. But before we get started, how's it going?
It's good, going good. Happy to be back on here and talk about baseball.
Yeah. Is there anything you wanted to get into before?
Yeah. I saw something today about Rizzo making a comeback possibly for Team Italy in the World
Oh,
Baseball
really?
Classic,
Playing in the Classic or coaching?
playing in the Classic
Okay. I don't think
in
I've
first
ever heard
base.
of retired players.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool if he
Yeah.
made the comeback.
Oh,
So,
did you, this came out a while ago, but did you see that Joey Gallo is potentially making a comeback as a pitcher?
I did see that. I've seen him in the bullpens, like in
Yeah.
training facilities or whatever. He's throwing pretty hard, like mid-90s or something like that. Yeah.
I mean, he's always had a cannon of an arm.
Yeah, but I didn't know about that hard.
Yeah.
That's
But,
crazy.
yeah, it's kind of an interesting thing to keep an eye on.
Yeah, for sure.
But before we get in, or now we're going to get into our topics today. And the first one I want to get into is what the heck is Munetaka Murakami doing?
Yeah.
The news came out a while ago that Japanese slugger Munetaka Murakami is signing a 2-year deal with the Chicago White Sox. And I pulled out my phone after church and I saw it and I was like, there's absolutely no way that he did this. There were teams like the Mets thrown out there, the Dodgers, the Mariners, the Yankees, all these big high market teams. And instead he chose to sign with the South Side
Yeah.
and go to Chicago. This news kind of surprised me. How about you?
Yeah, I feel the same way. I feel like he needs to make a name for himself, and I just really do not think the White Sox are a place to do that. You know what I'm saying? Especially with, like you said, teams like New York in play. I just don't know why you go to the South Side. You're more marketable in New York. You have a better chance of going to the playoffs in New York. I just don't understand it. And it's a terrible franchise.
Yeah. And I looked up a few of the Chicago White Sox stats recently. In 2024, they finished the year 41 and 121, setting the record for the most losses, the worst record in an MLB 162 game season.
Mm.
In 2025, it was better, but you can't really say that they really improved. They finished 60 and 102, still being one of the worst teams in the MLB, which I can see. I've seen things online where they're like, okay, now Munetaka Murakami has a chance to prove himself, to make a name for himself in a market where there's not a whole lot of pressure. If you
Yeah.
go to the White Sox, the Rockies, the Nationals, I hope that had happened, but the Nationals, the Marlins, if you go to these low market teams, there's not like a whole lot of pressure on you that you have to perform now or else it's not going to happen, opposed to going somewhere like New York, Los Angeles, Seattle, where we need you now and we're trying to push now. So you need to do stuff now. So I can see that part of it, but still,
Yeah. Well, how old is Munetaka?
I,
Okay.
he's 20, he's almost 26.
Okay. Well, and he's
So
been playing in Japan too. It's not like he has not been playing professional baseball. I see it for him coming over to the States, going to a smaller market and making a name for himself, like he said. But it's not like he has not been playing against top competition for a couple years. He's gonna be good. He's gonna be used to it. But you know, his choice.
it's very well known that Japan's market or Japan's level of talent is unbelievable. There are some absolute phenoms that have come out of there, Shohei Ohtani being one. But it's very well known that Japan's level of play also doesn't line up with the US kind of play.
Right.
US pitchers throw much harder. Their breaking balls have much more movement. They're just all around nastier, you could say.
And the defense in Japan usually isn't as good either. Usually not as tight as over here in the States.
Yeah. And I mean, Munetaka Murakami didn't play that much in 2025. 286, 392, 659 clip. Did finish with an OPS over 1,000. Had 24 homers, 52 RBIs. But that was only in around 60, 65 games.
Mm.
I mean, it's the health and it's the strikeout rate that
Yeah.
really alarm teams. He struck out a ton over in Japan. I mean, he had a 56 home run season a couple years ago, but the strikeout rate is through the roof. And that's the thing that's going to have to change if he's going to prove himself with the White Sox.
Right. Yes.
I mean, and the White Sox do have good core young pieces. They've got shortstop Colson Montgomery, who really proved himself to be a power hitter and a good player for them in 2025. They've got Shane Smith, who turned out to be ace level type stuff. They got Chase Mydroth, who people aren't as high on. But the White Sox do have talent. You can't say that they don't. It's just the White Sox have to figure out a way to put Munetaka Murakami and that young talent and figure out a way to at least maybe have an 70-win season.
Right. They'll grow. They'll grow. A lot of it comes down to management at the pro level. Like, how are they going to motivate their players? Where are they going to put them in the lineup? That kind of thing is a big effect. And then the culture of the White Sox. Well, how is Munetaka going to fit in with the culture there, with the young guys?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, and he's not so old himself.
Right.
So a young guy fitting in like that should kind of help. I've always wondered what kind of atmosphere that creates in the clubhouse with a player who speaks a different language. You can't really talk to him. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's hard to be a bad teammate or a good teammate, you know?
yeah. And I mean, he does know a little bit of English. We've seen some videos of that. But
Yeah. Well, I'm
I don't
sure I
know.
have an interpreter with him, like what
Yeah.
Shohei does. So,
Yeah. Here was a piece of news that came out, and it's honestly pretty sad. Ronny Henriquez really proved himself this year with the Marlins to be a reliable and honestly an absolute stud coming out of the bullpen. A 7-1 record. That's insane coming out of the bullpen. A
yeah.
2.22 ERA for a bad Miami Marlins team. 98 strikeouts over 73 innings, 7 saves. Just really showed a lot of promise that he can come out and really do stuff. But unfortunately, that promise is a little short-lived,
Mhm.
as he has to get UCL surgery, and that's really going to shut him down. And that's really just a bummer for the Marlins, who finally thought they found their guy out of the bullpen
Yeah.
along with Anthony Bender, but unfortunately, it's not going to be the case.
Yeah. That's sad. There's such a rise in UCL surgeries recently in the past, 5-10 years because of the shift that the game has gone from control to just velocity. Now, control is obviously fantastic in the bigs, but there's such a culture that is so hyper focused on velocity. We're starting to see the effects of that in these injuries that happen all the time. But it is great that you can go get a surgery for it. Had you had that 30 years ago, you were done playing. So he'll come back. But that is sad. He's gone for the whole year. That's what happened to Cole last year. We didn't have Garrett Cole because he had to go get Tommy John.
But yeah, just a very unfortunate situation with Ronnie Enriquez. Back maybe mid 2000s in the 20s, maybe the highest velocity was maybe 93, 94. I mean, people weren't throwing hard at all. You maybe had one person who could throw 96, and that was absolutely insane.
Right.
But now you've got starting pitchers who are throwing 99, 100. That's unheard
Yeah.
of. But the strain that puts on your arm and your elbow, that's just really unfortunate. And we've seen a lot of those. And unfortunately, it happened to Ronnie Enriquez.
Yeah. It's sad.
On the more positive note, Andrew Heaney, longtime longtime starting pitcher, one-time World Series champion with the Texas Rangers in 2023. He has decided that it's time to hang it up. I think he had 10-year career. It came up, I think, in 2016.
Yeah.
Signed a deal with the Pittsburgh Pirates this year. Didn't go so well. They cut him loose.
Yeah.
And then he was picked up by the Dodgers just because the Dodgers run through so many pitchers every year. None of them can stay healthy. So they picked up Andrew Heaney. He's getting old. He got
Yeah.
old. It wasn't going well, so he decided to hang it up. 56 and 72 career record, 4.57 ERA, almost 1,160 strikeouts. But he just proved himself to be a reliable and a proven veteran that
Right.
you could count on probably to give you 5 to 6 innings. They might not be the cleanest innings, but you could definitely count on him to be that long man.
Oh, yeah. And I think he's, he was never one of the best out there. Obviously, a good pitcher. But he's going to be able to look back at his career and say, "Hey, I did well. I had a World Series, and maybe the last 2 years that he was in weren't fantastic, but other than that, can't complain."
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, it's not like you walk away empty-handed. You walk away knowing that you were able to do something. You were able to be a part of something, and that's, in my opinion, that's something really good that you can hang up the cleats with, knowing that you were able to help out.
Yeah.
This guy was able to help out with one team, not so much with another team. Many of you have probably heard of this by now, but Anthony Rendon, longtime national, was absolutely insane on the Nationals 2019 World Series
Mhm.
push. Eventually decided to leave the Nationals right after that World Series, which I'm kind of confused about. But anyway, but right after that, prior to the shortened 2020 season, he signed a 7-year, $245 million deal with the Los Angeles Angels. And to put it simply, it has not gone well.
Yeah.
You could probably label it one of, if not the worst contract in modern baseball history. He's only played 257 games
Yeah.
over 5 years, and he didn't even play in 2025.
Yeah.
Injuries have killed him. It has not been good.
Yeah. No. And he never played. He never played. And I remember a couple years ago, he actually said in an interview, like, baseball was not a priority in his life. He said once he was faltering. He got into that altercation with a fan. Right? I mean, that's unfortunate. I think he just won the World Series. He was like, "That's it, done."
If you won the World Series and he's like, that's it, why would he sign a 7-year deal?
Money,
That's,
money.
yeah, okay, yeah,
Yeah.
I can see that. But unfortunately, the money kind of caught up with him and the Angels, as the Angels and Rendon have agreed to a restructuring of his contract. The Angels are buying out the last year of his deal. 2026 would be the last year of that 7-year deal. And due to the lack of health being on the field, and then when he is on the field, the lack of production, the Angels are done with it. They thought they would be the cornerstone that they could build around, but that did not happen. And Rendon is expected to retire after this buyout.
Yeah. I think it makes sense. That's not super surprising to me. You know, his heart hasn't been in it.
Yeah. And just to show some light on how bad he was with the Angels. Over 5 years, he didn't play in 2025. Over 5 years, he hit 22 homers, 125 RBI, and a 717 OPS. I mean, those aren't
That's
bad numbers for a single season,
right. Yeah.
but those are over 5, 6 years.
Yeah.
Now, compare that to simply 2019 with the Nationals, where he hit 34 homers, 126 RBI, and had an OPS over 1,000.
Yeah.
In 1 year, he outdid what he had done in 5 years, simply because he could not stay healthy and he could not produce.
Yeah. It's true. It's crazy.
I mean, Rendon, I love you, man, but I think you're done. I think you're done.
And, he got his World Series and he got his money. And he played pro ball.
So the last thing that I wanted to go over today is the Pittsburgh Pirates. They have been making some waves as of recent. People said they were going after Kyle Schwarber. That, as soon as I saw that, I was like, that's not happening. Try all you want. Schwarber does not want to go to the Pittsburgh Pirates. But they have been doing good. They signed late inning relief pitcher Gregory Soto to a 1-year deal. And then they made a big trade. They received Brandon Lau, Jake Mangum, and Mason Montgomery from the Tampa Bay Rays. Brandon Lau, obviously an all-star second baseman, 30-homer season. Jake Mangum provides you some good outfield depth. Mason Montgomery, I think that was just the cherry on top, just to get them to accept the deal. But the Pirates, you can't say that they're not trying.
Mm-mm.
They're trying to back up Paul Skenes with what he's been able to do for them. And with these waves, do you think that they're ready to contend?
I would give it one more year, personally. I think they're 100% going to be better this year, obviously. But it's going to take some time for the chemistry to build up. I would give it one more year. They might make the playoffs this year, but I don't know about real pennant contention yet. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, with a 30-homer second baseman on your team, they have some good youth. They've got, obviously, Paul Skenes, Cy Young winner and Rookie of the Year. They've got Bubba Chandler, who is kind of like a mini Paul Skenes, just not as much hype around him.
Right.
But then you've got O'Neal Cruz, you've got Brian Reynolds, Joey Bart, if he can ever stay on the field and produce, Jaron Jones. Really, really what the Pirates are made of is their pitching.
Right.
Their
Yes.
pitching, they have all the pitching that they can handle. They've got 4 absolute studs in their rotation with Skenes, Chandler, Jared Jones, Mitch Keller. But yeah, as you were saying, I don't think it's very hard to believe that in a year or two, they could be right back up there
Oh, yeah.
competing for an NL pennant.
100%.
Yeah. Anything you want to say before we wrap it up?
Just commenting on the Pirates a little more. I saw something about Kazuma Okamoto possibly coming over.
Yeah.
That's in the news. So if they get him, I think they're going up for sure. I mean, they're making moves.
Yeah.
They're
You
doing
definitely
good
can't
stuff.
say they're not.
Yeah.
But that's another thing. Tatsuya Amai and Kazuma Okamoto, their posting windows are getting real short.
Yeah.
Decisions are going to be made here in the next few days. Amai's posting window ends on Friday. So be looking for that to see that. That'll be definitely in the news, and we'll cover that next time we're on. But Landon, it's been another good one. Thanks for coming on. Everyone, be sure to check us out on Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts. Leave a like, comment, subscribe. Email us at baseballhqpodcast at gmail.com. Anything you'd like to talk about, we'd love to handle it. Yeah. Landon, we'll see you next time.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, everybody, for watching. It's a beautiful day for a ball game.